found this, like I would say, this tool where I don't have to then talk to people about anything, because I talk to canvas and a lot of things, I can do there. So my language is ever changing. There is always kind of thing that I want to do this and I want to do that. Like I say, maybe I'm moving a little bit towards abstraction. It is happening very, very naturally. But like Picasso said once, that abstraction is not, first you compose in your mind anything, and then you do not do those images. That is what is. So even abstraction is a composition. It comes from within. It comes from a story. It comes from somewhere. And that's why I said that abstraction is something which comes much, much later, when there is a calm, there's only color, there's only expression. I'm somewhere in between, and I still enjoy the, expressions, but I'm moving that. That is how I'll define myself. Over a period of time, I realized that I'm getting more, detail freak. The more I do the details, the more calm I feel. So that's my requirement.
Many layers that need.
Oh, there are many layers.
That's the reason why the detail
and the language becomes automatic. It's
Absolutely.
an automatic journey. You cannot do it. It's not deliberate.
Yeah, it can't be forced, definitely. So that part of the abstraction, I remember something, from our learning days, what I had read. So there was this artist, and there was this critic who was totally against abstract art. What are these patches on the canvas? इनका क्या मतलब है? कोई मतलब नहीं, जिसका जो बना रहा है वो वहाँ पे कर रहा है. They don't show anything. So there was a huge, argument on that. And as this lady, the she was flying back to the country where she had come from. She was sitting in the airplane, and the plane started moving, and everything became so hazy. And when she took off ground, she saw the details disappear into patches, and said, that is when I had the realization what abstract art is all about. Thank you so much for bringing that up, because that's how you look at abstract.
Oh, that comes with experience. I'm getting goosebumps, because पहले मैं भी ऐसे ही सोचती थी. But now I'm realizing that it comes much later in your life.
Absolutely. One last question. What would be your advice to the participating artists and to Veva Art for having organized a spectacular show? Because your words of advice would mean a lot to everyone. They would love to hear your words of encouragement. But there is something, if you feel that we can take it to the next level, because I think Malvika and Jehan have put up a spectacular show over here.
My advice to everybody who wants to do paint, or who wants to do art, or any kind of passion you have, just to do it, continue to do it, and love it. Love every minute of it. Explore all the possibilities of your work. See a lot of work. If you have not been qualified with this field, watch a lot of artists' work, read about them. Know a little bit about art history and those kind of things. And like I said about abstraction, I have to tell you one thing. Like Picasso said that I learned to paint like Raphael in 4 years, but it took me lifetime to paint like a child.
Absolutely.
So that is what about abstraction. So anyways, it's a journey. You have to continue to do that, and you will surprise yourself, first of all. So do it with a passion. Don't do with any kind of a thing coming back to you. People will come, like my mentors always said, if you continue to do that, people will find you. You don't have to find people. So just have faith and do it. Enjoy. That's it. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Shashi Tripathi, for these words. So that was Shashi Tripathi with us. We learned so much from her. It was wonderful to hear from her, and the Great Indian Brand Show is really privileged to have this set on the sets of Veva Art where we are doing this show. And like she said, we can sum it up this way: if you're in love with what you do, nothing else matters. Nothing else can stop you. Nothing else can challenge you, because love conquers everything. The moment you start loving yourself, you will start loving what you do. And I think that is where the answer to everything in life actually is. Thank you so much. for this wonderful conversation we have had. I'm so privileged. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir. Over there.
That's right.
So, in a sense of that, to reflect in the entire hotel, design and the walls, the space, and everything.
Absolutely.
I'm sure even the food menu must be something close to that.
Oh, we are very good at it.
Yeah, I'm a foodie, so I would put this one up as well. Yeah, so a brand such as yours is a name to reckon with. What was in your mind when you decided, or when you were deciding to come up with this show and work with Viva Art?
To be very honest with you, Sudarshan, it was when we initiated this thing. Actually, we initiated this thing pre-COVID. So, and then COVID hit, and then everything was on standstill. And then from last couple of months, 4, 5, 6 months, we have been trying to deliberate on the fact that how we are able to take this forward. So the initial thing which came to my mind that as a company or as an individual, how we can contribute a little. For the people who are doing such a fantastic job, they are not professionals. They are struggling for all of us.
Yeah.
They are struggling for all of us, so that we are sitting here in an air-conditioned
And
manner.
the greater reason, they are they come from families that are actually, because of which we are able to, paint in our own freedom.
Correct. So that was my thing, that how we can contribute. May not be in a very bigger manner, but small little contribution to give a platform to the emerging artists and to contribute to the community, which sustains us, because like today we are sitting here peacefully.
Yeah.
There are many hard work which has been gone through.
Yeah.
So that was one idea which was there to talk about. Yeah.
Absolutely. वो जैसे बोलते हैं ना, बूंद बूंद से घड़ा बढ़ता है और घड़े से ही सागर बढ़ता है। I think हर बूंद में एक सागर है अपने में, अगर देखा जाए तो, because there's no size of it. The heart of it is more important than the size of it. I think that is what you mean to say. कि किसी भी तरीके से अगर हम contribute कर सके, that is very important. It doesn't matter the size of the contribution. लेकिन वो दिल और वो जिगर, that heartfelt attitude and gratitude has to be there to be able to be a part of that. Thank you so much for that one. So inspiring. The next question I'll ask you is, any initiatives that you have planned for such recurring events? I mean, it is always such a fantastic initiative to promote versatility of this kind that we have seen today.
Well, there are many, and we have done many in past also. So, just to let you know, means today is being Sunday. So again, pre-COVID, and then the things got disturbed. But we used to have a farmers market.
Okay.
Again, an initiative which is giving a platform to the farmers. So we used to arrange that market towards our pool side, wherein we used to give space and for them to bring their products.
Unbelievable.
So we started and we were running that for almost 4 years, and it becomes a destination in itself. So not only farmers nearby, which is nearby Delhi NCR, but people used to come from Jammu and Kashmir to display their products in terms of apples and all. This is one initiative. Then we have been partnering with the Asian Music Festival, so which happens every second year, and this year also it is happening towards the end of November. So we are again the hospitality partners with them.
Okay.
So initiatives like this, many of them which keeps coming, and we are definitely privileged to get this kind of opportunity to partner with them.
Thank you so much. This is the last question. I know you have a very busy schedule, so I thank you for the time you take out to us.
It's a pleasure.
So, last question, Viva Art has been around for a decade, and they're definitely doing much, they've done much, and they plan to do much as well. What inspired you to associate with them, and a few words that you would like to say about them?
Well, what I really like about it is the kind of energy the entire team has.
Absolutely.
It's a fantastic energy, and every time you talk
Always
to
on the
them,
toes.
and they are on the toes, or they are, it's sort of a positive vibe which comes in that, we are doing this for a cause, and we want you to be with us. So, a lot of energy, lot of positivity, and fantastic initiative by Veva Arts. And in future also we would like to collaborate with them. And not only here, in case this sort of setup moves anywhere towards any of our hotels, and if the circumstances allow, so we will definitely be part of it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Rohit, for spending this time with us and then enlightening us with what your dreams are, how the park group dreams about this, what plans they have, and especially for stepping forward to contribute to something like this. And some things that you have said, definitely people are going to make a note of that, because the whole idea of to be able to do something, that especially that part where you said, the size of the contribution doesn't matter. I think that is going to go a very long way, because definitely size doesn't matter, it's the size of your heart that matters. So again, thank you for being on the Sense of the Great Indian
Most
Brand Show.
welcome, Sudarshan. So before I end, I just want to tell you one thing. Like you said that you're being yourself a foodie. So just to promote a local cuisine, right, which is neighboring countries, our countries.
Yeah.
So we do food festivals. Like recently, we concluded a food festival from the Uttarakhand.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So. Or we do a Bengali food festival wherein our chefs' wives who are Bengali, they are coming and cooking us.
Okay.
So it is not like the food part of it is certainly how you are empowering the community, how you are taking. The Uttarakhand food was curated by our chef Darinder, but it was supported by a local chefs. So the next time you are invited.
Thank you so much.
To have such kind of.
Definitely be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Darshan. Thank you very much.
From the Great Indian Brand Show, on the Sense of Veva Art exhibition that is going on at the park, you heard the man. So if you have something in your heart, in your mind that you want to do, park is always ready to help the community every way it can. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks,
It's
Sudarshan.
been a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you. Has the journey been so far? And what is it that has been so exciting about this journey?
Okay, thank you, Sudarshan. Thank you for inviting. You're right. I've been associated with Veva Art for almost a decade now. The journey has been really fulfilling. The way they have nurtured new artists, showcased their creativity, not just of the masters but also the budding artists. I think that is something that is inspiring, and personally I really get inspired when someone like Malvika and Jehan are able to do this year after year and do it so well. So it's a very inspiring journey for me.
I was actually, that was my very next question, like from curating shows of masters and renowned artists and known artists, from the domestically or known domestically in the region or countrywide, to coming up with something like this where you're actually promoting such young talent, I would say even more talent at places. What inspired you to take part in this initiative? Because, when masters are around and people of that stature are around, you're very sure of what you're doing. But to promote young talent, and some of the art is absolutely spectacular over here. You would have seen that. So, what inspired you? Because बहुत से लोग वहाँ पे रुक सकते हैं, I think it's about us, maybe, but the new people. What would you like to say?
So first of all, art is about creativity, right? And it knows no language, no age bar. So creativity, you could have young artists with magnificent creativity. And it also aligns with our philosophy at INDUSLND of nurturing talent, young talent, grooming them, making sure that we deliver value to our customers.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of similarity in values that I see, and that's the reason we got associated with sponsoring this event as well, where we want to nurture talent, we want to promote creativity, the spirit of innovation. I mean, these are some things, values that we hold very dear.
So if viewers want to know, how does this statement of Mr. Nishit validate in itself that the values are very similar? How can a band's value system be the same as that of an art curator or promoting organization that is coming up with new talent. So I'll put it in very simple words. The small SMEs that the banks help with, loan and investment and help them grow. I think it is in that, very fair or in that, calibrated to that level, it is equally important to invest in upcoming artists. I don't, if somebody is wondering ki bank ki values kaise se ho sakti hai, I think I could relate it this way. Is that where it comes from?
Let me just add to that. If you look at our brand for affluent banking that we have promoted, Pioneer. So we have been pioneers in lot of innovation in the retail banking space, whether it is my account, my number. So you can choose your account number, make your mobile number as your
I've heard of that, yeah.
Or you could choose the currency notes from the ATM, whatever denomination you want. So we were the first to bring that. The latest one being a payware. So your ring acts as a debit card. So you go to a shop, you buy something, and instead of pulling out a debit card, you just use the ring which you're wearing to pay.
Wow.
Right? It's connected to your account. So these are the things that we've innovated. And let me just add one more thing. INDUSLND Bank is built on the civilization. It's built on the ethos of Indus Valley civilization, where way back thousands of years ago, that civilization fostered innovation, creativity.
Absolutely. It taught us how to build, how to live. It gave us a peep into the history. और हमें पता लगा कि हम लोग कितने एडवांस हैं. I always believe, whatever we know of history is because of the art that is there around the world. It could be 150 years old, it could be 1,000 years old, it could be Stone Age art, but then that is what teaches us everything. उसकी वजह से हमें पता लगा. And definitely, now I understand INDUSLND Bank, and I definitely remember that story for sure. So as a brand, what would you say to the industry that you come from with regard to being a part of such treasure events?
I think we as an industry need to foster innovation. We need to give platforms like this to young upcoming artists, and not just in the world of painting, but across the board. So we need to nurture young talent. We need to give them opportunity, a space where they can express themselves. And I think with technology being where it is today, there is no dearth of opportunities. We just need sponsors to come together and provide that platform.
So someone, whom I really look up to, he said that, Sudarshan, just keep digging at one place. Even if you are not able to achieve, people will come to you and ask you, how is it that you're consistent at digging at one place? And that itself is a great achievement. So I think that's what we're trying to say, that चलते रहेंगे तो फर्क पड़ेगा.
And the other flip side of this is, if you dig 10 feet at 20 places, you get muddy water. But if you dig 200 feet at one place, you get oil or something of that.
It's like I said, the rarest of the rare diamonds are in the deepest core of the earth, and you have to dig deep to get that. So वो एक जगह करते, it's like, एक घर पे रहो, खूब खाओ, हाथी बन के निकलो. It's like that. So I remember this is something that my teacher used to say, and it really inspired me a lot. So another two questions. What do you think is the most amazing quality that Malvika and Jihan have? There must be something, because you're sticking around with them for 10 years.
Yeah, Malvika and Jihan I know for 20 years now, by the way.
I need to get my information right.
I've been associated with Veva for 10 years, but with both of them for over 2 decades now. And I find the passion that they bring, the sincerity with which they work, the ability to execute. These are some things that stand them apart, and I feel, very proud of associating myself with the kind of work that they do. So my best wishes to them to take this to even greater heights.
Thank you so much. One last question. So wonderful to see corporates stepping in and leading the way, because I've never come across something like this in the past. It has happened very rarely, and leading the way for those who wish to create a name for themselves. You being a name yourself, what would you like to say to these artists, and what is the one thing that you really like about them? One word for these artists, because I think your words will inspire them the moment you say something.
So I think bravery is the word that comes to my mind, that They have been brave to put out their emotions, put out their feelings out in the public domain. And my not advice but request to them would be continue on this path of greatness.
Thank you so much.
All the places. I mean, that means you can say that in the entire universe, what has been created, why that cosmic created? We just not the Samavata skill, Paranam Chitram Visuddha. We just recreate the character of those things, whatever has already created.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that becomes the Chitra, what we recreate. Seeing the cosmic creators, what creation.
I want to ask one very particular question. I'm sure the viewers might also want to know, what keeps you so young? How do you get that energy that you have, that is, pulsating inside you, throbbing inside you, beating inside you? Because it is really amazing. At 88 years of age, you have so much to share, so much of energy, and I think that is so infectious in itself.
My explanation probably would be like this. I worked the whole night. I worked actually up to 4:30 I worked. After that I read small chapters of the Gita.
And then go to sleep.
That is my normal time. But during that period of time I do not know actually whether I am hungry, thirsty, or even sometimes some of the fan is running on, even I do not know that. I'm so much engrossed in it. I do not know all these things.
Working continuously keeps you young. Work never stops. हम लोग रुक जाते हैं, लेकिन काम भी रुकता कभी.
Here I will have to say one thing. See, when I work like that, probably I do not know what is happening around me. And I could actually time one absent from my life.
Wonderful.
Sometimes period of time. So every day that kind of, some period of time which is absent from me, if I put together, it will appear. So I may be 88 years physically. But probably few years is not in my life.
Yeah, I think it's basically 8 plus 8, 16 that is inside within you. But outside it is actually 88. That is what it actually is.
Some years are not there in my life because I didn't know what was happening.
Absolutely, absolutely.
My next question.
Wonderful, wonderful. Amazing having you with us here, sir. It's been a privilege talking to you, and I'm sure a lot of people who will be watching this episode will also, would have got inspired from the young man, 88 years old, Mr. Jitendra Rajadhar, sitting with us over here today. Thank you for lending us your time, your precious time, your views, and for inspiring the whole community because they really look up to you. And it's an honor to have you on the set, from the sets of the Great Indian Brand Show again, on the sets of Veva Art at the exhibition in the Park Hotel, sponsored by INDUSLND. We have Jitendra Hazarika, and let's say a wonderful and a rousing applause and a wonderful bye to him. Let's clap for him. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Malvika.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Wonderful speaking to you. Pleasure is all mine. Family support जहाँ पे आता है, there the road becomes broader, and hurdles disappear on their own because when people are on their own, it's very difficult. When you have a back behind your back, then it makes a lot of difference. Thank you so much. How has the journey been? How long have you been associated with Veva, Malvika? I know you are relations, but then it will be wonderful.
Okay, so we are sisters actually. So it's been since inception. It's been like being with her. Then she's decided on the name of Veva, and otherwise also she would talk so much about. She's very, very passionate about her work. She's believe it or not, she'll be talking almost about 80 to 90% times only about her art or whatever other things.
Yeah.
She's a very passionate, very dedicated kind of a person.
Absolutely.
I always think that if I was so dedicated in my own business, maybe I would have done wonders.
Well, actually, sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. I'm sure when I speak to Malvika, she's going to go about like that regarding you. Because I see her. So we all get inspired from each other.
Yeah.
I think that is the way.
I believe it or not, she's younger, but she is so dedicated, so passionate, so full of all the time, thinking.
And full of life and energy, right?
Absolutely. And she's an all-rounder. She'll do everything so perfectly. Inception of the event, and then she goes on to continuously putting so much of effort, talking to everybody, so confident. it's very inspiring. Really, that way she's really good. Viva Art, just started. I think she worked with one of the art companies, and then she got some experience, and then she decided to start on her own. Being in the defense, they're moving out a lot, so they're not sticking to one place to establish it so easily. So they have a lot of those.
I've been the crux of the entire interview and what I've been, harping about since the time I've been here.
Yeah. So that's the reason, she moved to Pune, she met Jehan there probably, and then they started working together. And there she planned to start on her own, and that's how Viva was created. And again she moved to some other place. But the kind of ties she's maintained with her artists and the kind of work she's done with her, the people who are supportive of art or who
Well,
appreciate
relationship building is the first step in art, because if you're not building your relation even with your subject, you forget about drawing it. And similar it is with people also. I think that is the crux of everything.
Absolutely. The relationship management is something that she's absolutely stunning at.
Absolutely.
Even the artists, she'll go down to the artist places. She went to Calcutta, she went to various, maybe Assam. She took the artist to Vietnam. That building, relationship building kind of thing. So
absolutely.
she comes up with very different new ideas all the time. And
Yeah.
that's really immense.
That's really amazing. So I'll ask something that is totally pertaining to you. I have many friends who are into a similar profession like you do. And when they look at my paintings, I do a lot of scrolls, black and whites. Actually, ये color भी होगा क्या कभी? So I want to ask you, IT consulting to art, how did you build that bridge? That kind of a sensibility, because it is very, very rare from somebody coming up with that kind of a profession in the background to be able to talk about something that has no beginning or end or a strategy or a positioning. It's all about emotion. It's so subjective. Whereas IT consulting is absolutely objective from the very beginning till the end of your brief.
But you know what, it's again dealing with people. A lot of work is done with people, which is only done through emotions, through feelings. So we do obviously not only objectively, but it's done a lot of emotion.
No, I understand, but just to add a little character to the discussion,
Yeah, that's true. But then, it's not so bad that whether this one.
No, absolutely. I think, see, I've always said, when people from technology backgrounds say, I'm creative, I say, no, you are absolutely creative. That is the reason why you're able to create technology.
Yes.
Your way of creating is by syllables and numbers and the language that you call the computer language or the binary.
Absolutely.
An artist's language is either a stone or a drawing pencil or a paper or a canvas, or somebody who is writing down words or writing down poetry, writing a poem, or singing or playing music or dancing. It's that way. Everybody has their own language.
You see the apps, the apps which are made human interaction.
Absolutely.
The computer human interaction.
Yeah.
So much of interaction happening. AI is coming up with huge stuff.
User interface has taken a different, it has taken different, leap into the possible, right? Because it has evolved so much. Now, user interface is also art, if you ask me, because it is talking about the psychology of the person who is actually looking into it. Where the eye is moving, how it is growing, it's a refinement from.
Absolutely. You have to really figure out what is going to be helpful for that person. How is he going to use that app? What would be convenient for him? Will it clicking here or there?
So can we look at, am I sensing, or are the people sensing that maybe in the coming few years, Viva Art might come out with an app that could be for art and all, with you and the help of it, trying to build up something?
You never know what's going to happen. The way things are evolving, I think, it would have to be there. It has to be there. You can't do it always brick and mortar. You have to go online, you have to be present digitally to really promote stuff.
So I'll ask you one very amazing question, because see, you don't come from the art background, but you're attached to it totally. So when you say something about it, it is going to be absolutely neutral,
Okay.
You've been with Viva Art, Malvika, for so many years. You've seen the works of masters and everyone, and now you see the works of people who are future masters. Do you find difference over there? Or do you find, what is your take on that? Because I think the works over here, some of them are really masterly in my own view. I mean, there's a lot of, see, there's a language in them. As long as there's a language, it is speaking something. You know?
Absolutely.
That's what it is. So, आपको कोई ऐसा major difference लगा and all that, you know?
Believe it or not, no difference, because unless you know the names, if the names were not mentioned there, I think they'll all look so
Yeah,
beautiful.
absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that.
It's only the name which gets that.
Yeah,
difference.
yeah.
And take away the name, they all are so amazing. You will not be able to figure out who is the
Absolutely,
master and who is
absolutely.
the novice. You know.
So in case people are wondering, why Veva Art is coming up with, young talent, that is the reason I really needed to bring this out, because I think, there's so much of talent in our country, in our nation, and, it needs a push, and it needs a right kind of push, the right kind of support, the right kind of processes, system, culture. Only then it becomes harmonious, Of course, there are masters in this country whose work needs to go out into the world and all, but they also have to be like the guiding light for young generation to come up with like what we are seeing. And this is neither about the master nor about somebody new. It is about somebody who is coming from the defense and civil services background. What goes on in their life? It's a peep into their lives, ताक से झांक के देखना खिड़की में उसकी जिंदगी में क्या चल रहा है, because the art that is coming out from them is entirely out of so many challenges, so many things. Like I'm telling, उसके साथ कनेक्ट करना, एक जगह पे रह के करते रहना मुश्किल, आपको पता लगा आपका सब्जेक्ट की हिल के दूसरी तरफ चला गया तो आप क्या करोगे?
One of these would be masters tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, and that is where Veva Art stands, validated, vindicated with everything, and kudos to that kind of an initiative. I think it's high time that this should happen in the country and art should be brought out. We have masters who people even don't know yet. That is the kind of situation. There are so many great masters, क्योंकि मुझे आज तक समझ नहीं आया, why is a master honored at the age of 75 or 80? Why not at 30 or 40 and say that this is going to happen in the future? By the time the person is at the end of their lives, you recognize what use is that? मेरे को हमेशा से लगता है it should happen right there in the beginning. उसी टाइप पे कुछ तो, and that is when you will find somebody like King Kohli coming out, because you recognize talent at such a young age.
This is what Veva is going to do.
Yeah, that's what Veva is going to do, and thank you so much, Vinita, for validating that, vindicating me for this one. So that was Vinita Gaur with us over here today. She's been with Veva Art again from the Great Indian Brand Show with Sudarshan Art Chitrul on the sets of Veva Art at the Park Hotel, sponsored by INDUSLND and so many other people, and wonderful, people like Vinita Gaur who have been relentless in their support to Veva Art Global and for the New Wave Art Initiative. Thank you, Vinita. Thank you so much.